Hey everybody, Doris here, and happy December. It's time for all the snow and Christmas decorations and, all that holiday cheer if you're into it. Definitely my favorite time of year. But welcome back everybody. Thank you for clicking on this video and for our long-awaited November recap. I know a long time ago I did say I'd be doing this again on a regular basis, and life kind of, I don't want to say got in the way, but had other plans. Still been like healthy and whatnot, but I've been focusing my energy on actually just a lot of other hobbies as well, kind of putting my energy where it's, I think, best suited and where I want my energy to go, which should mean I can get back to doing a lot more of this, because I do enjoy doing my art recaps. I love showing off what I've been working on in the sketchbook, or what hasn't been working in the sketchbook, and it's just a lot of fun. So for this video, you're going to see most of my sketchbook work from a small sketchbook, and it's going to be everything I did for November, as well as the start of my brand new sketchbook, I should say my new old sketchbook that I've had for a long time, because that one's empty, and starting to do work in that one too. So you'll see all the work for November here. If you're part of my Patreon at patreon.com/Dorcius, you'll see that there's even some more artwork up there too, because that covers some of the digital work I've been completing as well. So we're in the last month of the year. Next month, as in 2020, I'm going to be trying to get better at my scheduling. So I do want to get back to doing recaps regularly. I need to just decide on a schedule, most likely at its best, probably bi-weekly for my schedule. So I do want to get back on and post regularly, because I do enjoy this, and I think a lot of you do too. But you can always tell me otherwise. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive on in, and let's see what I was up to for all of November. So stick around. Hey everybody, so it's time to actually get into the sketchbook. As you can see, we're there. We made it all the way through. So for November, I had actually started, I shouldn't say started, but a continuation of a lot of the Street Fighter art I've been doing. I still haven't figured out why that clicked with me, but yeah, we'll go with it. So here we have Crimson Viper. Kind of just iconic with, like, the half crop. I shouldn't say crop, but more of that half button up with the leather jacket, the tie, and the glasses. I did end up doing a digital of this one, which turned out really well. Just ended up just only coloring the eyes and then the yellow for the glasses. That was a good time. This one just came together really well, just with the pencils, and I didn't have to think so hard. Getting better about using my references, which was kind of key. And as you can see, reverse side, I'm thinking about maybe giving this one away. I might add in some coloring, might do a block out of a silhouette behind her in color, just to make it pop even more, but we'll see. Usually when I'm saving that blank side over here, it's that way I might give away or do something with it. Then we skip here on the 4th. I was just doing a lot of face practice. I'm realizing now I do a lot of my faces all the same, or just what I believe to be incorrect. So here was just trying to, just work on things and just do little sketches of, different facial features and whatnot. So just to bang out some practice. And then over here, this one I did really faintly, which I apologize for. But trying to get a little bit more, I don't want to say more structure, but more realistic in the facial features. I still like my stylized, but this is definitely not as stylized as a lot of my other work is. So I'm probably going to go back and maybe ink this one. Been having a lot of fun with the ink brushes and whatnot, but it may just stick around in pencil, because as a lot of my friends know, I tend to stick with graphite, and I tend to like that a lot. And then continuing over here, again, faces. Portraits are my thing, and just I don't vary up faces enough, which is, it's funny, I feel like I don't vary faces enough, but yet then I get like completely different facial structures that I'm working on in here. It's just more, I think, of needing to practice more and look at how other artists I like do their thing and see if I find a method that they do that also works for me. Because, like, oh, that 3/4, it hurts so much. But it's practice. Practice. And then here we go, the 3/4 in the other direction, with the turn over the shoulder. And then that's all I did for that page, really. That and just more eyes. Just kind of a slow day. And over here, this one was a lot of fun. I ended up challenging a lot of my Twitter friends. I said if you could draw a stick figure, I would try drawing a picture in return. One person drew a stick figure with a shield and a sword, so I looked up some references for some lady knights and drew this picture from that reference, and that turned out pretty well. And then you can see I also tried another helmet in the background. Not very good helmets. Actual stuff on people I have trouble with, so I need to look at a lot more references on how people dress and whatnot. Then here is definitely a lot more practice, getting the 3/4 and then the classic portrait view, which I don't do very much of. But I was kind of happy with how that one turned out, even though it's like kind of sticking the neck out a little far. Then working on other faces that you can tell I wasn't too happy about that one on the right. And then this one was okay. That one was kind of a 3/4 turn, so I decided to just do the rest of the body. And then just took some of my ink pens and just doodled in ink for just a little bit. And then if any of you who are aware of Smash News and how Mai did not get chosen to be inside of Smash, did a couple versions of Mai, actually. Trying to just decide if I can work on more complex poses and whatnot. This one looked more like she was laying down, which was kind of funny, or sitting, which wasn't the intent. I might go back and finish this one too, or just do it digitally. But then I actually settled on this one, which this one turned out a little bit more chibi than I thought when I did it on paper. I'm going to leave it in the sketchbook. I already did a digital version of Mai and then actually had to resize everything because you can see her head's pretty big. Her body is kind of small. So, it's just a choice. Do you make the body bigger or the head smaller? I ended up in the digital piece. I ended up doing everything and then just taking the body and then expanding so that way it fits, and that way usually kind of the rule of thumb is half the head width going from, like, say, nose to the side, so here in the ear to the nose. That should be the amount of space you get also for shoulders, so I ended up expanding that and fixing it, and it looked pretty rad. And again, you can see the blank page because I was thinking maybe of inking or doing it in color and then maybe giving it away. On this side, there was a sketch. There was actually a couple sketches on this one that I was really happy with. But then a lot of you said you wanted to see me draw an OC, so I drew an original character. Her name is Gloria, and she's going to be a character in one of my space stories that I've been working on for a long time. She doesn't always wear a latex suit. I just wanted to give it practice for how do you draw latex and just draw light shining off of everything. And she's got the curves to make it work. So, we did that. Her little puff poking out of the blue flight cap. I also don't know how to draw flight caps properly, but this was my shot at doing it in color and in ink, and I really liked the way she turned out. So hold on to that one, and we're going to be drawing her a lot more. As you can see, it just messing around and having a lot of fun, just doing a running pose and going for it again with just the latex upper body this time and more of like kind of cargo-esque pants, and then just another face at the top. And then here we go. Trying not to waste my pages. As you can see on this one, I went with another portrait. I was really happy with this one. Kind of the very expressive brows and the kind of swoop over the hair all the way to the right side. And then here, I enjoyed this one. I was getting a little bit more messy and just free with my pencil, which is how I've needed to be. Where it's just like, just go for it and see what you get. And this one was definitely a stylized, kind of cartoon-esque, with the saluting soldier. And as you can see, my note, fun, but lots of misproportions, and that's okay. Not everything has to be perfect. Sometimes you just gotta let the feeling happen. And then over here, I was kind of feeling down. I would think this is basically me just that day. Was just feeling feelings that day, and doesn't mean you can't keep drawing it though. And this one, the super curly hair on the portrait, that was a lot of fun. And then over here, went actually to a family dinner with my fiance and her family, and we decided to, they let me draw, so that was kind of cool. And there's only one person on this page that was actually there at dinner. I should say there's only 2 people, so that was actually pretty fun. It was just me just practicing and being loose and having a good time, and realizing slowly why I should probably draw on angles as opposed to just flat on paper to get my perspective right, and wonder why everything looks funny. So yeah, easels or angled, easier to draw and everything looks like it's in perspective. Then on the reverse side here, on the 24th, we had even more. I got way better with that 3/4, as you can see. I'm just letting the hair just fly out there. Drawing mouths, drawing kind of somewhat happy people or unhappy people. And then down here, I was really happy with these, how these turned out. This is my OC Gloria again, down there in her kind of half flight jacket, very kind of 80s-esque, where it's like a half jacket, but it still looks like it's a flight jacket. And then her big old afro going. Probably gonna change up her hairstyle a couple times, but that's what we got for this one. And yeah, this was basically everything. This is the last page in the sketchbook, and people have asked me to wait and do a New Year's Eve sketch. So this last page is for New Year's Eve. So we're gonna save that one, and we'll be right back as I go grab the other sketchbook and show you what we got started for the new old sketchbook. So see you in just a second. Alrighty, and here it is. This is the brand new old sketchbook. This is the one that unfortunately has like a bunch of coffee stains on it and everything from an unfortunate accident a while back when I had it. But it has the Great Wave, which is actually one of my favorite art pieces, which is the whole reason I actually picked up the sketchbook. I hadn't even really tested the paper or anything else. It was just like, oh, I like that. And it has blank pages. So yeah, this had originally, as you'll see as I'm like gonna open this and try not to smack the camera, a lot of my writing. So back when I was working on concepts for writing comic book scripts or even screenplays, I had a lot of that in here. And you can see some of my very early practice when I started drawing back in March of 2019. So I had a lot of that original practice. I was bouncing between a few sketchbooks before I got to where I am right now, and that's this continuation right here of a lot of fun stuff, because I got big pages now, and it's very freeing, let me tell you. So there it is, the start of the new old sketchbook, and working on a lovely 3/4 portrait, maybe a soft portrait of me, which isn't so good, which that happens. Yeah, trying to work on other poses, mouths, dudes that are shrugging. But then this was the really fun piece I had and worked on actually over, I think this one was a couple days because I was at work at the time when I started the sketch. And decided to do the new 52 version of Supergirl with slight edits to the costume just because of the way I drew it. That band doesn't go that high on her thigh, but it would actually capture around the knee. But it was cool just doing something in a different pose, and definitely a style I like. It's very, very stylistic, almost Disney-like. And I had a lot of fun also with the combination of my alcohol markers and then all the colors except for, I should say everything except for the skin tone and the blues were actually water-based. But everything else was the alcohol-based markers, and those turned out pretty well. I had a lot of fun with that one. And then on this page, we got even more work on Gloria. This first one on this left side, definitely more fitting that same kind of style I did with Supergirl being cartoon. Then as we get towards the middle of the page, did more of like she's wearing like a kind of lower cut dress, definitely for that kind of wintry, Christmassy feel, because I'm going to do some Christmas, I think, drawings of her. And then there's like the super actiony pose, the hair flying by, wearing the half coat and giving more definition to the latex suit. So she's kind of jumping over, and then the kind of super sexy back pose. So yeah, we got that going on. And then one I'm still working on right now, which I haven't finished yet. You can see it's going to be more Gloria, and she's going to be wearing like the kind of sexy Santa Claus outfit. So we'll go with that. Probably going to work on that more today, actually. And then we'll have Merry Christmas right across the top, and that'll be like the Christmas shoot for her, and I think that'll be super fun. But yeah, so new work will be in this sketchbook. I hope to do a lot more recaps, hopefully bi-weekly, starting in 2020. December, you may not see a lot of them from me. I'll try and do at least one, maybe do like a year end, and we'll take a look at some of my favorite work that I've done over the whole year. And if that sounds exciting to all of you, please let me know. Hit me up in the comments, or just shout at me over on Twitter or something like that. But I hope you all had a great time today, and I hope if we don't speak at all through December, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, happy holiday and spend it with all the ones that you love. And no matter what you do, what art you draw, I hope you do it with a smile.